They are who we call in the times of who we need help. And when a community or when entire communities are saying, we do not feel like we can trust the people that we call when we need help, then who are we as legislators to not listen to that?
When Metro Council members voted to pass a temporary police contract that gave officers more money and few reforms, Councilwoman Keisha Dorsey was heartbroken for her community, especially those who spent countless days and nights fighting for police reform.
What we saw this summer and this spring was really a reenactment of what we saw in the 60s.
The Kerner Commission report of 1968 still reigns true more than 50 years later. The report was commissioned by President Lyndon B. Johnson. The purpose? To find out the cause of urban riots and recommend solutions. The report found that the riots were tied to police brutality in black communities and lack of resources in urban neighborhoods.
From the 60s, this has been a nationally recognized report in which we have still not adopted its recommendations. And you ask me why this community is in upheaval. You ask me why the young people are out in the streets protesting.
Along with the hiring of Erica Shields, former chief of the Atlanta Police Department, who stepped down amid the controversial deadly shooting of a black man, the Louisville Metro Police Department is currently undergoing a top-to-bottom review. Mayor Greg Fisher hired an outside agency to conduct the review following Breonna Taylor's death, acknowledging the history of reported abuse of power by law enforcement in black communities. I spoke with LMPD Sergeant Roger Collins about his role as a black officer.
We absolutely have to acknowledge the history between the black community and police in order to move forward.
Collins started his career 9 years ago in the 1st Division, primarily in Beecher Terrace.
How I built a relationship in Beecher Terrace was spending a lot of time with the community leaders there, such as Miss Renee Douglas, who ran the community center in Beecher Terrace. So it's just organic, taking the time out of your day to give the community just a personal side of you.
Collins says it's no secret there's a breakdown in the relationship between the community and police.
That relationship is stored with trust. So it's going to be consistent, genuine interaction with the people we serve. And it's going to take time. It's going to be a process, but consistency will win this race.
He called 2020 a make or break year for those in law enforcement. Collins says he saw good, integrity-filled officers abused by those in the community. As a black man, he understood the pain. As an officer, he struggled to see his colleagues go through it.
I feel that as a black man and as a black police officer, that the weight of making it work. I feel responsible for that task. It's a big weight to carry. I think a lot of dedicated men and women who wear this badge, black or white, have that weight on their shoulders.
Collins says he wants to see those who aren't fit to protect and serve weeded out and the perception of law enforcement to improve. And he will do his part to be the change he wants to see.
As a police officer and the profession having a very torn relationship with people who look just like me, again, I take on that responsibility, and I can't leave this profession in this type of shape.
Nicole Aga-Alianda-Sturdy spent weeks on the front lines of the protest in downtown Louisville this summer, calling for justice for Breonna Taylor. She recalls protesting the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and says her experience with LMPD was much different.
LMPD was so tactical and without any provocation, right? At least in Ferguson, we knew we were past curfew. They gave us the warning, right? They said this is an unlawful assembly. They said it several times, and then they started shooting, and then they started tear gassing. LMPD did the tear gas, and they would shoot pepper balls at us without any warning.
Aga-Alianda-Sturdy serves on the board for the Kentucky Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. She says she's grateful for Metro Council passing a use of force policy and hopes a citizen review board will bring about some change. However, she's highly critical of the hiring of incoming Chief Erica Shields.
The hiring of the new chief could have been a healing opportunity for the city. Mayor Fisher robbed us of that opportunity in hiring Erica Shields.
She's hoping Shields can make changes within the department, but says it's not possible without getting to know the community.
Until we see tangible results from her hire that show that she is willing to actually serve the people. because that's what that role is supposed to be, to protect and to serve. And if she's willing to do that and to place checks and balances around the FOP, which no one has yet to do.
Carrie Grace, WLKY News.